I would say that my biggest challenges and frustrations were like I would go on a retreat or I would go and do some ceremony or breath work and I would feel amazing afterwards, like I would, or even for the next day or two, but then it would quite quickly wear off. So I think one of the main things was kind of integrating any work that I had been doing. I was struggling with that. And I also remember in our first connection, like I actually did find it quite hard to articulate what I was struggling with at the time, but I knew there was something that was drawing me to like the reels you were posting, your Instagram, like there just was something really relatable about things that you'd spoke about. I think it was the nervous system regulation stuff, although I couldn't quite articulate that to you when we first spoke about it. But obviously, in hindsight, I can see that that was something that I was really struggling with.
And what's possible for you now that wasn't possible before?
So the awareness that I've got now of to when I'm beginning to kind of come out of the green zone and dip into the yellow zone and the awareness to when I'm feeling in regulation or dysregulation. I feel like I've got a lot of control and power over like that, and I've got a lot of tools to help navigate it, which I previously didn't have before.
And how did you feel making that journey, reconnecting with the wisdom of your body and actually beginning to listen to its forms of resistance, what it was saying, what it was not saying? How was that part for you?
Really, I feel like a big part of my journey was initially my resistance to it. Like I really had felt a lot of resistance in myself, which was a huge learning for me. That that was a lot of what we kind of would go with that. Like we would go with whatever that it was trying to tell me, which actually was pretty mind blowing when I got the answers to that, to why I was so resistant. And, it was about my need for autonomy and that things really were driven by me. And that was obviously something that you really helped me navigate because you always kind of presented things to me after we'd learnt that in a way that it was completely my choice. And as our time went on, I just that resistance just faded, and actually I would begin to enjoy doing the tools and the exercises that would help.
And see when having that experience of like the resistance part, but then as it dropped in and it just began to like really like what was not working for you in the beginning and felt really icky and difficult, then just became like it's almost like this flow happened where it was like there was no
Mhm.
push, no pull because of choice.
And I think actually though a big part of that was like feeling safe to actually admit that to you, do you know, like and trusting you. Like I think that was what was great is like you said, like trust whatever's coming up for you. Do you know, it isn't just a case of like pushing through it or saying like this is what I need to do, this is what I need to do, because actually that was huge for me, like learning that about myself. That so actually it was like when we go and flow with that, when we just kind of like, right, this is coming up and it's trying to tell us, or like, well, me really, isn't it? Well, what was it trying to tell me? And yeah, it was massive, really.
What's possible for you now, like in the sense it wasn't possible before? How has this expanded into your life, your purpose, your career, your business, your family?
I feel like it's just massively gave me so much belief in myself that like I can like that really I hold all the answers. That really, if I just keep coming back to me, like, and if I keep taking that time for me, then I hold all the wisdom. In the last few weeks, I just feel like really genuinely feel like just like the wee butterfly has left the cocoon, and I'm like really just I think I said to you in one of our last sessions, like this just infinite possibility that I just couldn't visualize before. Like I just couldn't see that. I mean, I feel like sometimes through the calls you knew what I was feeling better than what I knew what I was feeling, because there was times when I come on and you were like, I just feel like a wee bit shut down. And actually it's like, oh my God, like I really am shut down. And actually sometimes again, just like maybe taking that away and sitting with it. And I think even like that was again, like it kind of gave me some answers and just like, yeah, I feel a wee bit shut down here and like what's going on. And actually just that patience, because obviously like we say it did take a wee bit of time, and I started to get a wee bit like, oh, I just don't know if, that feeling like, I don't know if this is working for me or I'm doing everything I need to be doing. And then it was like the 2 weeks later, it all just
Just went,
totally shifted. And
yeah,
and I think that was a huge learning for me. And because like, and it is that just the patience and the sitting with the uncomfortable feelings and the difficult feelings, and the answers do come.
incredible. I'm really feeling into this. It's like I know it's just the energy that shifts. Like as we were
Mhm.
discussing how anxiousness manifested and evolved into excitement, and how
Mhm.
that created such a big expansion. And then obviously watching you, like you're moving into your own business, like the training you've done, like all
Mhm.
these other things that have just been calling you. But just
Yeah.
just that time of like we are open, we're expanding,
Mhm.
both operating both expansion and retraction, but knowing how to navigate both. So if there was what how did you feel working with the medicine and working with Johnny? How was that for you?
Yeah, it was great. It was brilliant. And actually, when I first started, I didn't really realise how, like, just the calls in themselves with Johnny as well, like how helpful they were. I did suffer, I've suffered like most of my life with psoriasis. And even just recently, like, that's totally just so much better, which is amazing to see, like, the kind of transformation physically in myself as well. Yeah, just I loved the chats with Johnny as well. Just like yourself, just such a like really compassionate and safe person to kind of speak with and like be in like your energy and Johnny's energy. It's just really safe and nurturing.
What would you say to somebody that may be thinking about working with me that's maybe that isn't 100% or a wee bit like reserved or still maybe sitting on the fence?
I would say for me, it genuinely has been transformational. Like it really has, beyond my sort of expectations of it. I would say that you're in really safe hands. Like I think that has been how it's been allowed to happen, because I've just felt like you have so much like integrity. Like I just feel like I could really trust both you and Johnny, which has helped. Like. So I think that's a big part of it, is like feeling safe enough to be so vulnerable and kind of explore your feelings, like that you do feel kind of held going through that. Think you would have no regrets, definitely. I just want to thank you. I want to thank you so much. Like, I'm really going to miss chatting with you, and such a great guy and just so down to earth. And we've had a laugh as well,
Ah,
haven't we?
we've had a few laughs,
There's
aye.
been a lot of tears, but there's been a lot of laughs as well.